Today we're going to practice English with a short conversation and we will learn expressions that will level up your English instantly. So let's get started. This conversation is called Bob Goes Out for the Evening. Let's start. Bob says, "See you later, Mom. I'm off now." Sarah, who is his mom, says, "Hold on. Where exactly are you going tonight?" And Bob replies, "I told Amber I'll just drop by her house for a bit." Let's read this part again. Bob says, "See you later, Mom. I'm off now." And Sarah replies, "Hold on, Bob. Where exactly are you going tonight?" And Bob answers to his mom, "I told Amber I'll just drop by her house for a bit." I told Amber I'll just drop by her house for a bit. Sarah answers, "And what are you two going to do? What's the plan?" And what are you two going to do? What's the plan? And Bob replies to his mom, "I don't know yet. Maybe we'll go to the movies or a party. Our plans are still up in the air." And Sarah answers, "Why don't you invite her over here instead? Why don't you invite her over here instead?" And Bob answers, "Nah, I don't want to hang around here. Dad is really down in the dumps." Let's read this conversation again. Sarah says, "And what are you two going to do? What's the plan?" And Bob answers, "I don't know yet. Maybe we'll go to the movies or a party. Our plans are still up in the air." And Sarah replies, "Why don't you invite her over here instead? Why don't you invite her over here instead?" And Bob replies, "Nah, I don't want to hang around here. That is really down in the dumps." Let's continue with that conversation. Sarah says, "Speaking of Amber, is she the girl with the nose ring and the purple hair?" And Bob answers, "Yeah, that's her. I'm crazy about her." Sarah says, "Don't take this the wrong way, but she's not exactly my cup of tea." Let's read it again. Sarah says, "Speaking of Amber, is she the girl with the nose ring and the purple hair?" And Bob says, "Yeah, that's her. I'm crazy about her. I'm crazy about her." And Sarah says, "Don't take this the wrong way, but she's not exactly my cup of tea." Let's continue with the conversation. Bob says, "Take it easy, Mom. We're not about to get married. We just enjoy hanging out together." Take it easy, Mom. We're not about to get married. We just enjoy hanging out together. Sarah replies, "I guess there's no accounting for taste. Have a good time, son." I guess there's no accounting for taste. Have a good time, son. And Bob says, "Don't worry, we'll have a blast." Don't worry, we'll have a blast. So this is all the conversation that we had for today between Sarah and Bob. Sarah is Bob's mom. So let's analyze some phrases that we had in this conversation to understand important expressions, common expressions, and vocabulary that native speakers use all the time in their daily chats. So, for example, here we have a phrase that Bob said in the conversation. I told Amber I'll just drop by her house for a bit. Here we're talking about an informal visit. The vocabulary that we are learning here is drop by. Drop by. This phrasal verb means to visit someone informally and without a specific appointment.
All right, let's drop by the apartment and then we'll go wherever you want.
Example. I was in the neighborhood, so I decided to drop by. Another example could be, if we have time before the movie, let's drop by Billy's house. If we have time before the movie, let's drop by Billy's house. Another phrase we saw in the previous conversation was this: our plans are still up in the air. Bob said that. So the expression that we are learning here is up in the air. Our plans are still up in the air. When we use this idiom, it's because we are uncertain, we are undecided, or we do not have plans yet. For instance, my job contract is still up in the air. I don't know if I'll be working next month. My job contract is still up in the air. I don't know if I'll be working next month.
It's still up in the air.
Another example could be, it might rain later, so our plans for the picnic are up in the air. Another phrase that Bob said in the conversation was this: nah, I don't want to hang around here. I don't want to hang around here. The vocabulary that we are learning here is hang around. Hang around. We can use this vocabulary when we're talking about location. It means to stay or wait in a place, usually doing nothing in particular. For example, we hang around the mall for an hour, waiting for the rain to stop. We hang around the mall for an hour, waiting for the rain to stop.
We used to hang around the lounge and play guitar.
Here we have another phrase that we saw in the conversation. It says, that is really down in the dumps. That is really down in the dumps. When we use this idiom in English, down in the dumps, it's because we are talking about our mood. Our mood. And it means that we are sad, we are unhappy, or we are depressed. This idiom is very common in daily conversations. For example, he's been down in the dumps ever since his team lost the championship game.
Ever since it happened, you have been down in the dumps.
Let's continue here with this other phrase. It says, yeah, that's her. I'm crazy about her. Bob said that. And here we are saying crazy about, crazy about. It means to be very enthusiastic, interested in, or deeply in love with something or someone.
Terry knew you were crazy about it.
For example, my little brother is crazy about dinosaurs and reads every book on them. Or Anna is so crazy about golf, she would like to play every day. Let's proceed with another phrase, and the one who said this was Sarah. So it says, don't take this the wrong way, but she's not exactly my cup of tea. Don't take this the wrong way. This is the idiom that we are going to learn here. Don't take this the wrong way. This means, or this is a polite phrase used before criticism or an unwanted opinion to prevent the listener from getting offended. So in other words, we use this phrase when we're going to mention something we dislike and we just want to soften what we are going to say. For example, don't take this the wrong way, but your presentation had too many slides.
Don't take this the wrong way, but that's not exactly from the Versace Virgin line.
Or another example could be, don't take this the wrong way, but I liked your hair before you got it cut. The other expression that we have here in this sentence is my cup of tea. She's not exactly my cup of tea. When we use this idiom, my cup of tea, is because we are talking about something you don't enjoy, something you don't find interesting. This is a British idiom, common also in the USA.
Not really my cup of tea.
Or, basketball isn't Peter's cup of tea, he prefers soccer. This is another phrase that Bob said in the conversation, and it is, take it easy, Mom. We're not about to get married, we just enjoy hanging out together. Take it easy, Mom. We're not about to get married. We just enjoy hanging out together. Let's learn what means take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy means relax. Relax, calm down, or do not worry about something. This is a common expression that we can use as an instruction or advice. For example, you should take it easy this weekend and not work so hard. You should take it easy this weekend and not work so hard.
If you all think that I'm going to take it easy on you just because it is the last class.
So let's continue learning what means hang out. We just enjoy hanging out together. Hang out means to spend time with friends informally. In other words, it means to socialize. For example, we usually hang out at the coffee shop on Fridays after work. We usually hang out at the coffee shop on Fridays after work.
You should hang out with Peter.
Or Katie and her friends like to hang out at the mall. In the conversation, Bob's mom said something like this: I guess there's no accounting for taste. I guess there's no accounting for taste. When we use this idiom, it's because we are giving our opinion and we are talking about taste. It means that it is impossible to explain why different people like different things. For example, he thinks that old hat looks cool, but there's no accounting for taste. There are some people who think that old hat looks cool, and there are others who dislike it. So there's no accounting for taste.
Well, there's no accounting for taste, is there?
Or picture this: Ted likes to add sugar to his coffee, and I don't. So there's no accounting for taste. And to finalize checking all the vocabulary that we saw in the conversation before, we have the last phrase. It says, we'll have a blast. We'll have a blast. So this is another way to say to have a very enjoyable and exciting time. For instance, it says here, they had a blast at the party last night. They didn't leave until 4 a.m. They had a blast at the party last night. They didn't leave until 4 a.m.
We're gonna have a blast.
Okay, so I think that now you're ready to test your memory and your understanding about all the new vocabulary we learned in the previous conversation between Bob and Sarah. There are a couple of points in this quiz. There are 4 exactly. So let's start answering number 1. Peter was fired. It is not surprising that he's down the dumps. There are 3 options: A, at; B, in; C, with. Peter was fired. It is not surprising that he is down in the dumps. Number 2, don't. That's the wrong way, but I don't really like your girlfriend, said Sarah to Bob. Option A, understand. Option B, put. Option C, take. Don't take. That's the wrong way, but I really don't like your girlfriend, said Sarah to Bob. Let's continue with number 3. Bob and Sarah don't know where they'll go on vacation. Their travel plans are still up there. A, around. B, in. C, above. Their travel plans are still up in the air. And the last one says Bob thinks his jeans look best with holes in them. There's no accounting taste. Bob thinks his jeans look best with holes in them. There's no accounting for taste. So all of them were correct. Congratulations for paying attention to this short English lesson. Try using this new vocabulary in your next conversation and you will see how your English starts leveling up.